And we are live. All right, friends, the clutter-free journey continues. Only this time, we will be getting into what to do now, what to do after the 30 days decluttering challenge for highly successful homemakers. And back with us today after her decluttering marathon to get ready for her garage sale is Dee from DeeLovelyLife. Between the two of us, we've got 7 tips for what you can do next after the 30 days decluttering challenge for highly successful homemakers. So welcome, Dee. How are you feeling after all that decluttering?
Tired. I'm exhausted. But I feel great. I feel like a huge weight is lifted off of me. I feel so much better. I really got to see a difference that it made. And, it's great to declutter. I feel so much better. How about you?
You know what? I felt really good seeing the work that I had done. But I also felt really pressed because I was trying to do the decluttering every day and then capture it on video and upload it daily. And when I originally thought about the challenge, I was going to do the daily challenge along with everybody else and just post a note on the community tab. But people were asking me, well, where's the video? So I thought, well, okay, I better do a video. And that just was not sustainable. I'm just not that fast an editor that I could get the editing done. I could get the decluttering done, but I couldn't get to the editing. But I really enjoyed the decluttering. And not only that, I just feel like I've got all these little pockets of clean that I didn't have before. So I am just really, really feeling good about the work I've got done. Just really feeling good at the work I got done. And here's the other thing. I've been away on vacation, so I just got back yesterday. And when I came back, it was like the house was nice and neat and clean. Luckily, I'd done all my morning stuff. And so the bed was made and all that when I came back. So I came back to a clean house. But when I opened a few pantry doors or a few cabinets, it was like, oh, I forgot I did that. And it was just so nice to see all those little islands of clean. So I really enjoyed it.
Are you that type of person like I am where after you declutter space, you go back and you're
Yes.
like, oh, it looks good?
Yes, and I'll go back and I'll look at it several times and just like, okay. And you know what? Looking at those spaces, revisiting those spaces just makes me more motivated
Mhm.
to work more.
I agree.
So, yeah. So, I'm really feeling pretty good about that. Let me just check over in the chat real quick. We've got people that have already jumped on. We've got Hillary Smith, also known as Ethel. And she says, good morning, Lucy and Dee. Lucy and everyone. She says, Lucy, I hope you're feeling better. And I tell you what, I'm better, but I'm still not 100%. You can probably hear it in my voice, but we're going to get this thing done. And then Dee left us a note. She's thanking everyone for joining us live tonight. So for joining Denise and Dee, whose name is also Denise, but for joining Dee and Dee on tonight's show. And then Michelle, hey to you. And then Margaret says she's still working on her 30 days, but she thanks me because she feels so good and not so overwhelmed. And boom, Marguerite, I'm going to say right away, that was the nice thing about the 30-day challenge. It was set up in like 6 weeks. So you could do like Monday through Friday, just 5 days a week, or just like 1 through 30 and just get all the days done. But you could also just take it at your own pace. And one of the things that I did was I was like marking things off on my list as I got things done, and I'd make little notes and things like that. And it just felt good to see an area marked off
Yeah.
on my sheet. So yeah.
It's like check off. That's like the best feeling is when you check off not only on our to-do list, but also check off on something like such big projects like that. That's
Mhm.
that's amazing. Plus 30 days. That's awesome.
Well, not to mention 30 days, it's a long period of time, but it's also a short period of time in that, it's like day by day by day for 30 days. It's not like 3 months or anything like that. So Hillary says that she struggled with health issues, but she got it done, and her helpy rewarded her with a Tupperware heritage line. Oh
Whoa.
my. Oh, I love Tupperware.
I love
And
Tupperware too. Woo!
all pastels. Go Hillary. Love that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump in with tip number 1. So, like I said, when we think about what's next, like how am I going to maintain the decluttered spaces and continue making progress in other areas of my home, because I don't want to lose momentum. So, we've got these 7 tips we're going to share. And tip number 1 is to declutter regularly. And I think that us decluttering every day during the decluttering challenge was one of the things that was so helpful. It was like building that decluttering muscle. So, and then you can work on areas moving forward that you didn't work on in this past 30 days. So you can create another list for yourself of areas that you didn't work on and have another 30 days decluttering challenge. Just select some areas that need attention to help you keep the momentum going. And you can choose some for daily or choose some for weekly, but keep them small enough to keep them that you can get it done in less than an hour. Dee, do you want to add anything on that?
Well, I think like also too, when how you said to keep a list that kept you on track, I think that's like really helpful, because I know like Michelle from My Everyday Wife Life, she had printed your list out, and she kept telling people to print it off. I think when you have something like that to go by is easier. I don't know. I not unless it's kind of hard for us to like, oh, I just want to do it easy today. Let me just do one, one drawer or whatever. But I think when you go and look at something where you can actually kind of plan out your rest of your day, because you got to plan for the whole 30 days, I think that works out much better. I think it also keeps your thoughts organized on how you want to go about it for that day.
Right. Exactly. It just keeps you focused rather than
Yeah.
thinking about, okay, so what am I going to do, to know exactly what you're going to work on. Exactly. It keeps you focused and you do that task. And then once it's done, you can rest and feel good about what you got done for that day. And I know you've been working on some marathon decluttering for your garage sales. Well, tell us how you worked to prepare for that. What kept you motivated? Because you've got 5 or 6 videos that you worked on getting ready for the garage sales.
Yes. Well, I think the inspiration behind it was just to help my mom, to raise funds. And I think that really motivated me to push me further than what I decluttered before. Because let's face it, I've already decluttered my closet probably like 3 times prior. So going back into it, it really challenged me on, okay, what can I actually declutter to sell this time? And you put money tied into that, it kind of gives you a different look at things. So
Okay.
I was like, oh, I can make more money off of this, and I don't wear that. It was a little bit more easier to get rid of those kind of items, I think. And then also throughout like the whole house, it was just like, okay, that, why am I holding on to this, vase, and it's costly, it's worth a lot. I'd rather have the money go towards, raising funds for my mom's cat Kitty, and that would be better rather than just sitting here collecting dust hidden in one of the kitchen cabinets way down below, right? So I think that was a little bit different for me this time going around. So that was really different as far as like inspiring me and motivating me.
Now, speaking of raising money for Queen G's Kitty, are you still raising money for that? Do you need to put in a little plug here? How can people donate
Oh,
to the
right.
Kitty Fund?
So if you guys go over to my channel and you start watching my decluttering for the garage sale series, In each of those videos, in the description box, you will find out ways that you can help donate. So I have several different options that you can help donate. I'm also in the process of still finishing taking pictures of some items that I'm going to be posting on one of my accounts. So, if because I have clothes with price tags,
I know.
too many of those. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and just open it up, and I'm going to open it up to viewers so that if anyone wants to purchase something like that, then they know that it will go towards the kitty funds as well.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry that I didn't think to find that link and put it in the description box. But once we're done, I'll go to one of your videos and capture that, and I'll put it in the description box after this video too, so that people can
Thank you.
donate to that, to the kitty fund.
Yes.
Okay. Well, tip number 2, when it comes to what next to help you maintain momentum after our 30 days decluttering challenge for highly successful homemakers, is to develop daily habits to prevent clutter from accumulating again. Now, I think that is really important, to develop daily habits to prevent clutter from accumulating. Now, one of the things that I do is I do a clutter stop 3 times a day. That means I take a look around after breakfast, after lunch, and then after the after dinner cleanup to see if there's anything out of place. If there is, I take it to where it belongs. If there's no place for it, then I probably need to declutter it. But some people call these like a little 5-minute tidy up. Fly Lady Cat calls them a clutter stop, because what you're doing is stopping clutter in its tracks. So, what are your thoughts about daily habits to prevent clutter from accumulating?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, I think if you have done Denise's challenge for the 30-day, hopefully by then you've now created a habit for yourself. For me, I think going through some of these decluttering challenges, like I did with Melinda, and I think I see Melinda on here, plain and simple with.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Mel, she had a decluttering challenge in January. So I jumped on and I collabed with her for that one. And that started like the whole year. And then soon after that, then I had to do another decluttering. So it gradually is it's starting to make a habit in my, because, you work so hard. You work so hard to take the time, declutter what you can, and you're like, I am not going to put clutter there in that hot spot. I am not going to do it.
I don't want clutter in here again. I get it totally. Yes, absolutely.
I think it just automatically becomes a habit. I think once you start and you keep up with it, then soon it will be a habit. Soon.
Yeah, soon it'll be a habit. And I will admit that even as much cleaning and decluttering as I've done, as much coaching and mentoring that I've done with young homemakers, I still have to focus on decluttering things here in my home, because even Miss Denise can have some issues with letting things accumulate, just like everyone else. And before I forget, welcome to Homemaking with Purpose, where we bring to you the best ideas, interviews, and information for today's homemaker. I am Denise Jordan, your host, and with us tonight is co-host Dee from DeeLovelyLife, another Denise. And I'll link her channel in the description box, particularly to her decluttering series for the garage sale. That is linked in the description box. But I will also find the new video that she was just talking about a minute ago or something.
The
I'm
mail
scattered tonight, so in case
decluttering. Yeah, all the decluttering challenges are really happening big time this year, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I was looking at like calendars, and I found out that typically in May, you'll see a lot of decluttering challenges. In January and February, you see a lot of organizing and cleaning and spring cleaning. And along with spring cleaning comes the decluttering. So right now, we're having the decluttering challenges for June. I'm hoping to look towards something else, but we'll see.
Yes.
We're ready to start focusing on outside and gardening and all those
Oh, there you
things that
go. Now
happen
you're
in the
talking my
spring and
talk.
summer. Oh yeah. All right. So this episode of Homemaking with Purpose is brought to you by Apron Diva. Pretty and practical. We believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. And right now, we've got patriotic vibes, not only for Memorial Day, which typically is May 31st, but it was celebrated on Monday as a Monday holiday. But also, Flag Day is June 14th.
Oh, that's a cute one.
Yeah, I got it hanging on the door back there, but this one is Flag Day is June 14th. And then Father's Day is coming up like the week after Flag Day. I didn't get the date specifically for that one, but it's pretty close to Flag Day. So if you want to rock a patriotic vibe, or if you want him to stay clean while he's cooking, cleaning, gardening, grilling, crafting, or doing whatever they do out in the garage, we got you covered. So let us wrap one up for the patriot in your life or for the man in your life.
Nice.
Oh, and then one of the things that I've been doing on the website now is putting on a little video that's just for this site, but it just talks a little bit about how to manage your aprons or different things to do. And this one is just how to keep aprons from detangling. And then you can just see some of the other ones that we've got. So
Cute
that's
stuff.
what our sponsor has to say. Excuse me, please, guys. I'm trying not to do that. And let's see. So let me just ask, wait a minute. Well, before I do that, let me ask, how many of you participated at some point in our 30 days decluttering challenge for highly successful homemakers? If you did, if you're here on the live show, drop a me in the chat. And then let us know, what part of the decluttering challenge did you like best? And then which part did you like least?
Ooh.
And then what did you learn about yourself throughout the challenge? And because I found it very interesting, Dee. While they're thinking, again, which part, if you participated, which part of the challenge did you like best? Which did you like least? And then what did you learn about yourself throughout the challenge? I learned that having that list, like just being able to just go to the plan, was very helpful. And I just worked the plan every day. The decluttering part that I like least was the garage tools. Oh my goodness. Now, Princessa was on and a couple of the other ladies, and they just laughed and they were like, first of all, what were you even doing out in the garage? Which my husband was asking me.
Right.
And
I saw your video today on the garage and I was like, oh, my husband was the same. Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. I feel like if I tell my young homemakers that you got to be able to declutter in the garage, all of them don't have men in their lives. So I have to be able to at least model whatever it is I'm trying to tell them to do. So he was like, if you declutter in my garage, I'm going to declutter in your sewing room. And I'm like, look, I said, well, I said, well, okay, let's do it this way. I said, can I just work in this area right here? These things right here. I won't throw anything away without your permission. I'll let you see what I'm thinking. And it really worked out well. He actually kind of got into it, watching me declutter. But I had to bring everything into the kitchen because he was trying to get ready for a fishing trip. So the boat was in the way. He said I was in the way because he needed to get over there to get things to get for the boat. So I took the stuff I was working on in the house. And then a couple of days later, he was looking for some kind of boat tape. And I'm like, well, it's on the hook. He says, no, it's not there. And I told you, don't throw it away. Where is it? And I'm like, oh, Lord, did I throw it away by accident? When I found it, I had put several things in a bucket to carry back out to the garage so I could put them on the shelves. And they were still in the bucket. So we were able to find the things that he needed. But I didn't know what half those things were, where they really needed to go. And,
I'm the same way.
Okay.
I'm the same way. I call my husband's work area like the black hole.
Yeah,
it's you know.
So I did that one little piece just to share with the ladies that, you know what, if you don't have a man in your life, and you got to try to organize these things, then these are some ways to go about it. But he was not happy that I was out there, but he was pleased that we got it done.
But it's also how we approach it. Like we do that whole like Jedi trick, like you start showing them, and then eventually they'll start to participate and engage, and then soon enough they'll be like decluttering on their own and going through other things. I mean, I've done that so many times with my husband.
For you young homemakers out there, that's one of our little tricks.
Yes.
And we're making sure you hear about it, but we don't want them to know about it.
It works. It works.
It does. All right. Okay. So let's see what people have responded to us. So let's see. So the Helpful Home, Sunday Dawn at the Helpful Home says her hands are busy, but she's listening and she's loving her two Denises. So thank you, Sunday, for listening to us. We appreciate it.
Hi, Sunday Dawn.
And then Ethel says that she agrees that clutter makes cash is a whole other thing. And then Dozen Party of Six, and I forgot her name. I think it's TJ. But she said she's glad that she made the live tonight.
We're glad too.
Yes, we are. And Hillary, we are so glad you got that Tupperware. You might have to send us a picture.
I
see that. But she said she does a tisket or tasket clutter in the basket. She'll take her basket through one room at a time, collecting things out of place and putting them away. That is a great idea. Just kind of put things in a basket and then take them where they belong.
But making sure, though, that you really put the things back.
Yes, don't leave them in the basket. Like I forgot and have the things in the bucket.
I used to have a bad habit about that. I don't know if there's anybody else who has done that in the chat, but I would take like a grocery bag, like a plastic bag, and then I would throw things in there like that doesn't belong on the counter or my hot spots, and then I'll tie it up and then I'll like toss it on the stairs. And then that bag will eventually end up somewhere else, like probably in this office. And then a couple of weeks later, I'm like, hey, whatever happened to I'm like, oh yeah, it's in that bag, and then I'm doing it again. And it became really bad. It was a bad habit of mine. I had to really stop that. And I remember my husband just looking at me like I was crazy. Like, why is it in the bag?
Put it in the bag. You can't see it. At least if you put it in a box with the lid open, you could see it. But then you're supposed to leave the last 5 minutes to finish the process, which is to put those things where they belong.
Right.
Or as Dana K. White says, take it there now.
Yes.
So Fly Lady Cat says, save the last 5 minutes of your process to put things where they belong. But Dana K. White just says, take it there now. I don't know if I'm having my temp going up or what, but I'm
the same way. I do it now. I'm way better at when I leave a room, I always have something with me, like I do a glance around the room. And if I see like a coffee mug, a glass, or something else, like my reading glasses, I take everything and then wobble into the kitchen, put the things in the dishwasher, put my glasses back into my purse. I try to do things then and there,
Yeah, take it there now. And then Hillary says, well, she's thanking people. She says the new Tupperware was released to celebrate the marvelous Miss Maisel and its reproduction of the 50s. Oh, I'm going to.
I didn't know that was a thing. I just got done watching that show last night.
I've never watched any of it, but I've heard it's pretty good.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Okay, I have to try it.
It's a must watch.
And then Rachel says, Dee, she's sorry she missed you in Phoenix. She wasn't able to drive up because she had sickness. So hopefully you'll come back and do another meet and greet.
I hope so.
You got to tell us about your meet and greet toward the end. We'll get all our tips in and then we'll come back so you can talk about that. So Melinda just gifted 14 vintage aprons to ladies in her neighborhood. How nice. Very, very nice.
So thoughtful. And plus she does driveway giveaways too.
Tell us about that. What's a driveway giveaway?
Well, what Mel does is when she declutters an area and she gets enough to I guess declutter,
Mhm.
she will hold all of her items and she'll set them out on her driveway for her neighbors. And
Mhm.
then the neighbors would go through, take what they want. And I think that is just so generous.
Yeah.
I've done that too a few times on my lawn. I'm
Mhm.
always setting little things out there in case people want, and boom, it's usually gone. But she does it a lot. So I'm thinking, Mel, your neighbors must love you
Oh yeah, I
because
would
she
think
has some
so.
nice things.
So Hillary says that she participated in the 30-day challenge
Oh,
and she
good.
likes the kitchen the most, but decluttering shoes was the hardest. And
Ooh.
then she doesn't do the garage because it isn't attached to the house. I get that too. I understand. Ours is attached, but it still makes sense if, I get it. But shoes were the hardest. So she must have a shoe thing.
Hillary, do tell. Just kidding.
Yes, Ricky was definitely watching. She calls me Lucy because of the day I made the guacamole and I was trying to make the guacamole on a live stream show. Dee, it was a complete fail. And everybody was just cracking up. So I talked about it one night on Homemaking with Purpose, and I said it was like an episode out of I Love Lucy. And I've
Oh,
never lived that down. So now, yeah. So Carol Phillips said she participated in the challenge.
oh,
Her
good.
favorite piece was the linen closet because she cleaned up to make free space. Her least
Nice.
favorite was craft supplies because she wanted to keep most of it. I get it.
Ooh, that would be a tough one.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I don't have a crafts room, but I could just imagine. I don't think I can get. I'd be thinking, oh, I might need that. Oh, I might need that. That would
Hmm.
be definitely a hard one to do.
Yeah. So okay, so I'm not seriously ill. I just have a cold now, but yes, I'm it's getting better. No, I haven't been to the doctor for this. But I had that eye procedure a couple of weeks ago, so then I was on one of my videos like this,
Oh no.
looking like Ray Charles, and so I'm much better now, but yeah. Okay. And then CJ is here, glad to join us live. Okay.
Great.
All right, let's see where we were. So we talked about the sponsor. We talked about who participated in the habit. Oh, and I mentioned that I learned about myself that I was motivated and I stayed motivated because I had a plan, and that was helpful. So now tip number 3 is to maintain a daily cleaning routine. So if you want to figure out like what's next, how to maintain momentum is to maintain a daily cleaning routine. And by that, I mean a daily cleaning routine helps you to keep things neat and tidy. So you don't have to necessarily do whatever it is every day, but you have certain days of the week that you do certain things, and then it just helps you schedule whatever it is that you're working on. So you just declutter as you go, and this really helps keep you from keep clutter from piling up again.
Absolutely. Totally keeps you on track every day.
Hmm. Hmm. And then Hillary says, call her Imelda Marcos with the shoe business. So she obviously has a lot of shoes. Okay. All right. Tip number 4 in what can help you figure out what to do next is to practice the one in, one out rule. Now, that has been very difficult for me to
Me
practice
too.
one in and one out. So it's probably one of the most beneficial actions you can take. Like if you bring one in, then you're going to take one out. But it's a hard one. And for me in particular, when I bring in a new cookbook, I should declutter a cookbook that's already there. But if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I have a thing about cookbooks
So
now.
do I. I
It's
do
just hard
too.
to toss them.
It is. I'm like, oh, but I might want that later, or I haven't tried all of these recipes yet. You
Or you
know?
might be looking for the one recipe that's in there.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. So when it comes to one in, one out, if I get in one new cookbook, I should toss one, and that's hard to do. However, you can also think about limiting how much you purchase or what you buy. Don't buy that new blouse or don't buy those new pair of shoes. Just kind of stick with what you've got.
You know, that's a good point. I was reading an article today regarding a self-made millionaire, and it was a gentleman, Jonathan, I think his name's Sanchez or something like that. And he was saying that one of his rules was the one in and one out, where he doesn't buy, you know, excessively or whatever. And he has like just enough of clothes. Like he has so many tops, so many whatever. And he says like if he goes somewhere casual, he has like 2 polo shirts to wear with jeans. If he's going somewhere formal, he has 1 suit, you know, a couple of ties to mix match it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever belongings that he has, like shoes or clothing attire, he just takes really good care of them so that they last for a long time. And then he's always saying that if he buys something, then he usually gives up something. So it's very simple to maintain. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say it's a female against male thing, but for me, for me as a woman, it's hard to do the one in, one out. You know, if I go shopping, you know, I don't want to think about, well, if I buy these 5 shirts today, you know, like I have to give up 5. You know, I just, my brain doesn't work that way. It should, I guess, but you know, it's just hard enough for me to shop in the first place.
It sounds like he might kind of do like that capsule wardrobe a little bit. Like
True.
Scott does that capsule wardrobe where you have 10 core items and then you build out your wardrobe with what she calls extra. So if you've got 1 pair of jeans that's blue and 1 pair of black jeans and 1 pair of a black dress pants and maybe a skirt or a dress, then you can have other core pieces to go along with those. And then everything kind of complements or goes along with everything. So you've always got something to wear and you don't need as many things. I guess because there's been so many times when I looked in my closet and felt like I had nothing to wear and it's full of clothes. But I've not always done a good job of making sure that everything in there goes with everything else. I've done better with that, especially since I wear more dresses now, because with dresses, all you got to do is put on a pair of shoes.
That's true.
But
True.
I've had like lots of sweaters or shirts or whatever. And then you've got this kind of blouse that only goes with this one thing. And, you know, so... And they do say that people that are very rich do use their money much more frugally than those of us who are not.
That's true. That's true. Like on Mother's Day, my mom had received a lot of flowers, which is awesome. But you know, those come with vases. And it's like the first thing I thought of. That was the first, besides, you know, oh wow, these are beautiful flowers. But at the same time, I'm like, no more vases.
Like, I gotta find somewhere to put it.
You know, so funny. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but that's so hilarious. Seeing all those flowers now, that's all I think about are the vase problem.
I had a lot of vases that I decluttered when I worked in our garage last year when I decluttered in our garage. And I put a lot of them in the donate box for the Goodwill. And there's probably lots of people that come and they get those and they either use them for crafting and then flower shops can use them as well.
True.
All right. Well, tip number 5 is to use the container method to set boundaries. So Dana K. White, who wrote the book Organizing for the Rest of Us, invented what she calls the container method. And this is that the container determines how much you can keep. For example, this container is full of pins, and I can only keep the number of pins that fits in this container. Can't get a second cup for pins, can't put them in another drawer or somewhere else. All the pins I can keep in this office have to fit in there. So she says you make the container be the boundaries or the parameters. And if it fits in your space you have to keep it in, then you get to keep it. If it doesn't fit, then you need to consider what do you need to let go of so that what you want to keep fits in there. Have you tried the container method, Dee?
No, I haven't.
Okay, all right. So how
Well,
do you think something like that might work?
but I wouldn't mind. I mean, I guess I can't. Okay, so I do keep like a container for like all of my wrapping paper.
Hmm.
Um, I don't like to keep anything more than that because I think that's just way too excessive. So I do keep certain things like that. Same thing with my pens. All of my pens are in a plastic container. I don't really need anything more than that. Same thing with my planner stickers. I have this one set bag, and I told myself, you do not need any more planner stickers that cannot be held in this. So, yes, I guess I kind of do. But
Hmm.
then on other things, like if you go into like Christmas decor or, dishes and all that, they're kind of all over the place. So I feel like I could be a little bit better in those areas.
Okay, I get it. Well, I've got a cabinet that I keep my cookbooks in, and I've decided if they don't fit in there, then I have to figure out which ones are going to be decluttered because that cabinet will hold about 40 or 50 cookbooks. So who needs more than that? Well, anyway, it won't hold
Well,
that many. So
I'm gonna
we'll
keep it
see.
silent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to have the container system might be a way of staying on top of the one in, one out method. Let's see what people are saying. Let's see. Mm, CJ's glad she's here. And then Hillary says, we need a homemakers convention so we can all meet. Oh, I would love that.
That
I
would
would
be
love
fun.
that. And then do we have any half aprons for sale? Not right now, but we will have probably within the next couple of months when we get in our new orders. I'll have some half aprons that I'll have for sale. And then, so Melinda says she hasn't bought much since she started decluttering, only purchasing what she needs. Now that's good, Melinda. That's really good. And then Hillary packed up most of her extra dishes, glasses, and serving pieces that she doesn't use since it's only her and the hubby. Doesn't really need a service for 12 in the cabinet in the flatware drawer. So you pack them up. Are they like in the garage, in the attic? Because you can certainly pack up some of those things and set them like in quarantine or set them aside like for a granddaughter or for a family member that you're going to give those to. Hillary says her neighbors have started calling her Miss Hill, the apron lady. I like it. So Jean says she joined for maintenance. So that's been very helpful.
That is helpful.
Oh, hey, there's Michelle. Hey, y'all. Hey, Michelle. Good to have you here.
Hi, Michelle.
She said she forgot about the live. She was out grocery shopping. I get it. We all have stuff to do. Hillary says she's got a ton of cookbooks and also recipe cards in the plastic containers from the 70s that she can't get rid of them. I had a big box
Ooh.
with those plastic containers with recipe cards from the 70s, and I gave them to one of my sisters because she said, don't you ever throw those away. When you're ready to get rid of them, give them to me. So I gave them to her. I just don't have those anymore.
I have my mom's.
Okay. For those of you that are just joining us, let me just remind you all, we've got Dee from DeeLovelyLife as our co-host. You know, Dee co-hosts with me from time to time. And we're talking about what's next after participating in a decluttering challenge. How do you keep the momentum going? And we're giving 7 tips. If you've missed the first 4, you'll have to catch the replay so that you can get caught up. Also, today's sponsor is, as usual, Apron Diva. And we have got patriotic vibes as well as Father's Day vibes going on. So here's some patriotic vibes there for Flag Day, Memorial Day, Father's Day, and just other stuff that's coming up. So be sure to check us out. And I'll stop sharing and come back over here. And Now we're going to go to tip number 6. And I forgot to put the
Tip
banners up
6.
for the tips. So tip number 6, create organizational systems to house or corral various items. So now one of the things that we're looking at here is that you want to invest in some bins and baskets that can help you organize whatever. Sometimes just having a little basket that you can put things in and you can take the whole basket out and set it back in there is so helpful. In my spice cabinet, I invested in a Lazy Susan. I've got some tiered steps and corner trays so that I can take advantage of my space vertically as well as horizontally. Under the kitchen sink, I use some inexpensive baskets to corral my dish soap and scrubbers and other cleaning products. And in the pantry, I labeled baskets and bins so that I knew what went where and so that my husband also knows what goes where. So that's been very helpful. So, Dee, what kind of organizational systems do you have to help you stay organized?
Well, I have set up some baskets and some containers in our laundry room so that Jay kind of knows where everything goes, as well as I really love how I had organized the one of the kitchen cabinets where we have all the plastic containers.
Mhm.
Before, it used to be stacked up just various places on the on the shelf, but now I went ahead and invested in a tall kind of square container where
Mhm.
they all fit. So all the lids, everything is fit, and all I got to do is just pull that container out and then thumb through what I need. So that has been a game changer for me for that part. I also added a brand new under the sink, those roll outs, pull out little storage to shelf thing. That's been
Yeah.
working out great too.
Okay. I like the idea of that one big storage container that you could put all that plasticware in plus the lids fit. I hate looking for lids. If I can't
I know.
find a lid for a container, I just pitch it.
I know, that's how I am too. And then also for a food saver, I did the same thing. So everything is just all right there. You just pull it out. It's easy. And then it's just easier to remember what you have, your supplies for it. And then it's just so convenient to have everything. Another game changer that I found really helped me was to actually invest in a jewelry organizer, because I just had everything kind of like thrown in a jewelry box,
Hmm.
one box. So I'd have to like go through everything just to find matching earrings for the day. So I went ahead and I just bought myself a nice like 5 drawer, plastic see-through, and it has all these little cubbies in it. And
Hmm.
so now I just pull it out. I can see all my earrings that I have, and I'm like, I didn't even know, I forgot I had those. So I mean, that's a total game changer right there too, I think.
Okay,
So
cool.
definitely containers or whatever you can use definitely helps in organizing your spaces.
Do you have any kind of a label maker that you use or anything like that? Oh,
I
okay.
have one right here. I was relabeling some of my file folders.
Those are nice. I don't have that, but I had my husband help me mark some labels on like those labels that I
Oh
got.
yes, and you get to write it in the white chalk
Yeah,
pen.
yeah.
Yeah, I have
But
that
I
in my
like the
laundry
idea
room.
of the thing that you've got too, because it's a lot smaller and then you can replace it a lot easier too. So,
Yeah, I
okay.
redid our medicine cabinet using the label maker, and it works really good. It works really
Yeah.
great. So now if we have house guests, I'll just say, "Oh, look in the downstairs medicine cabinet," and when they open it, it'll say everything: allergy, stomach, or cold, flu. It
Hmm.
has everything on different categories.
Okay. Cool. Um, Tip number 7 is to make a plan for what's next. And I think that is one of the ones that people really need to think about is to maintain momentum after you've completed a 30 days decluttering challenge is to make a plan for what's next. So the fun part for me about the 30 days decluttering challenge that we just wrapped up was that it was like a scavenger hunt. As I showed you guys earlier in my little page, it's like each spot was somewhere different. It didn't like just go in order, so that I was kind of like all over the house doing different things. So it was fun doing the different things, but also I had a plan for what I needed to do every day. And then on the days that I didn't have something that was on the plan, like I didn't have any children's shoes, I could take that day off, or I could say organize my workout gear or something like that. But having the plan allowed me to focus on one area at a time without feeling overwhelmed. And then when I got that done, I could be like, look what I got done, feel so good about getting it done, that kind of thing. So it's like I knew what I was going to do ahead of time and I could get it done and then feel good about that.
I agree. I think you having that printable really helped. I wish I had done that in this last series that I just got done finishing, because I wasn't like that. I didn't have like what was next. For me, it was more or less, I kind of already knew where I needed to go back and revisit. Like, Dee, you're procrastinating in that guest room closet. That was a beast. That was kind of like one of my embarrassing
One of your dirty little secrets.
yeah. And I struggled making that video. That was really hard, but I got through it. But I wish now that if I'm going to do this again, I definitely think that I might be having a better plan of like, what am I going to tackle that week, so I can stay on point. Because like I would be one video, I'd be like in the kitchen, and then all of a sudden you'll see me upstairs in my closet, and then I'm back in the guest room, and then I'm in the office, and then I'm in the garage, and then I'm up in the attic, so I'm going different places. So, and I think sometimes when you do that, you're not as thoughtful, or you forget things. I forgot a lot of things, from what the first garage sale that I had. So right there, I think if you have a plan, you can check it off. You can make sure that you went over everything in detail.
Okay.
Definitely.
I agree with that. And the one thing too is that I want to make sure people notice that I said make a plan for what's next. And when you're doing that, you want to make a plan for how you will declutter other areas in the next 30 days. I didn't say how you're going to declutter your house or your home, because that's overwhelming to say, well, how are you going to declutter your house in the next 30 days? Because there's a lot of areas in your house.
Oh, yeah.
But you could choose 30 areas in your house and put them in your notebook or on a list, or however you want to arrange it, and work on those in the next 30 days and not feel so overwhelmed. So for me to say, well, I'm going to get this office decluttered in the next 30 days, I'd be like, really? But if I say, okay, I'm going to work on the bookshelf one day, and maybe the under the desk bookshelf another day, and then maybe one drawer or something like that. But
right,
just kind of break it up that way.
Break it down, right? Mm-hmm. Break it down.
Exactly. So make a plan as to what you're going to work on in the next 30 days will really be very, very helpful. And that way too, you're setting goals that are achievable. You're not, too lofty or too highfalutin, but there's things that you can actually achieve.
No, absolutely. We all love that. Mm-hmm. Plus, it keeps us more inspired to keep going, because you're like, I'm making progress. Well,
exactly. And you can see the progress, especially if you mark it off on your list. And then for those of you, in case you're wondering how tip number 7, which is to make a plan for what's next, differs from tip number 1, which was to declutter regularly. It's different because what you're doing is you are creating a plan for what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis. So when you're decluttering regularly, you're executing the plan that you created. Whereas tip number 7, you're thinking ahead what you're going to need to do and when. Okay. So let's look at do you have anything you want to add to that, or shall we go into our bonus tips?
Yeah, no, go to the bonus.
Okay.
Bonus round.
All right, so bonus tip number one, boom, is to celebrate your progress. Like you said, Dee, go and take a look in there, kind of open those doors and just kind of look and treat yourself. Do something nice. Don't buy anything. But you might want to give yourself an experience. Maybe get your nails done
Or take a picture and share it.
yes, take a picture and share it, something like that. But treat yourself to celebrate your progress.
Give a pat on the back, man.
Mhm. Yeah, give yourself a pat on the back for a job well done. And just think about how it feels to live in a less cluttered space. Like, how does that feel? It just feels good. And then to be able to find things when you need them.
Oh yes, that's the one right there.
Mm-hmm. And then to be able to, to check your progress, not just by looking, but seeing yourself, mark them off on your sheet. And then bonus tip number 7 is that, decluttering is an ongoing process. It's just like laundry. It's the never ending story. You're going to have to continually work at decluttering. Now, what that means is once you say declutter your sock drawer, it's been decluttered, it's neatly organized. You're going to keep it that way by you buy some new socks, you're going to get rid of some old socks. You buy some new dishes, you're going to get rid of some old dishes. But you're going to have to constantly stay on top of that. You're going to have to constantly do it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can end up back in the same situation that you were in previously.
Right. Right.
Yes, you really got to be mindful about what you bring in and then when you take some things out.
I also think too, like when you start doing something like this as decluttering, I also think that we tend to not buy as much because we're being more cautious and we're being a little bit more reminded of, wait a minute, So like I haven't been to Home Goods or Marshalls or Target. Gosh, it's been a while. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Only because I feel like I'm doing what I'm not supposed to be. It's like, well, Dee, you're decluttering. You're decluttering to get rid of things, and you don't want to be running out to Home Goods.
Well, exactly. I used to go to
know?
Target all the time and look for new things, and I would go
Oh,
to Marshalls and TJ Maxx. I just don't do that anymore because
I
wherever
don't
you go,
either.
you're going to find something.
Yes,
Yes, so I
yes.
just don't do that anymore.
That's like me. And then even being a YouTuber, anybody out there in YouTube land, you know how it is. You want to do a video, you want to show like, oh, let's go to IKEA or let's go to Home Goods or Marshalls or something like that, and you want to share your haul. But then now it's kind of like, well, gosh, I'm decluttering. I'm trying to get rid of this stuff. I can't be going to all these places, and so there's that too.
Okay. So Michelle says she's stocking up for hurricane season. I forgot she
Uh-oh.
lives in that area. Now you're in Arizona. Where are you?
Who? Michelle or me?
You,
Oh, I'm in California.
California. So hurricane season, you guys
We
get them out there too? No.
No, but lately we've gotten like hurricane winds in January when we had the whole storms through California. Yeah, we
Oh,
had
you guys get
hurricane.
some of the blow by.
Oh yeah, we had up to 90 miles per hour. That's why a lot of the buildings downtown San Francisco, they were
Mhm.
popping out. It
Okay.
was scary. Yeah.
So Michelle says I did a good job in decluttering cookbooks. Thank you. That was so hard. It was hard. And then Michelle organized her bathroom cabinet. She bought some new containers.
Oh, and I saw those, and I've been looking at the same containers, Michelle. I saw your video today, and I just started giggling because I'm like, man, those are the ones I was keeping an eye
You
on.
put them in and out, had the tissue and all that stuff in them.
It was so cute.
And then CJ says she needs the jewelry organizer. So maybe she might need to watch your video so she can see what you
Yes, it's a
have.
tiny tidy. It's a tiny tidy Tuesday video, and you can't miss it. It has a picture of all my jewelry and doing it. It was really, it's a game changer.
Okay. Michelle's thinking about getting a Cricut to help with labeling, things like that. And she said she enjoyed jumping around too. She gets bored staying in the same room to declutter all month. And that was why I liked the fact that we were like on a scavenger hunt, going different places. And then Julie is saying hello, Jewel in the kitchen. And Melinda said she liked to bounce around. Michelle says if she had a room that was a complete disaster, she might want to stay in that room multiple days, but that's not the case anymore, except for the garage. Okay.
I'm that way. I think I'm like that with Michelle. I get the same way. It gets too much, right, Michelle? It's like when you're attacking, especially like a garage or something really crazy. I can't do it every like in a few days at a time. I have to do it like I'll start and then I need to go somewhere else and then I'll get back to it.
Okay. Now Hillary says she's got a huge announcement. Tomorrow is her 1 year anniversary for being smoke free. So yes,
Oh,
that is amazing. That's a great
yes.
declutter for your lungs. Your lungs will be so much better.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
That's
Hillary.
awesome.
So R. Anderville says, isn't decluttering a sugar-coated way to say I'm getting rid of stuff I don't need for a better life? Like the idea of getting rid of or throwing something out. Maybe decluttering is a nice way to say that. Some people, that's what they need. They need a word that's sugar-coated. And if that's what they need, then hey, I'm all for it. So you're right.
That's a good way of saying it too.
Yeah, it's just a nice way of, and to say that you're decluttering or that you're letting some things go so that they can serve others makes you feel better about having spent the money on something that you're no longer using. You don't feel as quite as wasteful as just tossing it out. But when you let it go to serve someone else, you feel a little bit better about it.
Absolutely.
And then Hillary says some people from the Depression or who didn't have very much, they don't like to declutter very often because they're so used to holding on to everything because they don't know when they might need that thing. So, okay, but yes. All right. Well, Dee, do you have any last words?
I think if you have not tried the decluttering challenge with Denise, I think you should try it. I mean, it's June 1st, right?
Mhm.
Tomorrow. So you can
Tomorrow.
start like the 1st and then let us know
Yeah,
how.
and I put the link in the description box for the printable, so you could start the printable on June 1st. Or if you've already done
Exactly.
it, you can just mark in something new. So yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think doing this whole decluttering for the garage sale for on my channel, I think that this time around it was a little bit different. It felt a little bit different than all the other challenges before.
Hmm.
But I definitely think that for any beginner to start where you can start, do as much as you can. You don't have to do like a whole hour or just do little increments at a time. 10 minutes, 15 minutes and then see what you can tackle because you're going to have rounds. You're going to have your first round of decluttering. And then you're going to have a second time at it and the third time. I'm probably like on my 5th or 6th decluttering of my closet, like Michelle from my everyday life. We're constantly always going back in the closet, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's how we're getting rid of all this stuff. I mean, if you guys saw my first decluttering of shoes, I had my whole bed full of shoes. I don't have that anymore at all. It's crazy.
When I looked at my shoes, I realized I don't have a lot of shoes anymore either. I got rid of a lot of them. And what was mostly in my closet was a lot of the shoe boxes. I had the stacks of shoe boxes packed in a corner. I'm like, why am I keeping the boxes? And I've got cubby holes. I've got like a little shelf with all these little cubbies that the shoes are in. So why am I keeping like 8 empty boxes? So I did get rid of those.
I had bridesmaid shoes from 20 years ago. Okay. Like the plastic on the heels were starting to come off.
Do you
Why
plan
am
on
I
being a bridesmaid again? All right.
It was too funny. Why are we keeping on these things?
Yes. And Dee, before we go, could you talk just for a minute about the Native YouTube conference that you went to? I happened to see that on your channel and it just looked so interesting. So tell us about that. And then one of the ladies here, I can't remember the name now, earlier that said she's sorry that she wasn't able to see you in Phoenix because that's where it was. So tell us about that. It just
Yeah.
looks so cool.
Oh man, it was amazing. It was amazing time. It was held in Phoenix at a conference center. There was about 30 Native American Indians there who are YouTubers
Mm,
who all gathered. We all gathered in one spot all together so that we can meet our subscribers and meet one another.
mhm,
But it was just a chance to share our YouTube channels and to kind of support one another.
mhm,
And it was just so inspiring to meet other Native YouTubers. And we're all in different niche,
mhm,
per se. I think I'm the only Native YouTuber that was there who is in the homemaking niche as I am, or even caregiving. So I know that I have new subscribers who have came over onto my side, and I'm so grateful for that. I also met so many other Native YouTube creators out there who just have an amazing channel, just showing the different cultures, the different ways that we all live. Some of us live on the Indian reservation, and then some of us live in the urban city life. And then,
mhm.
so it was kind of neat to see us all together. We had the Navajo Times newspaper there, who they interviewed some of us. We were also told that, I don't know if that had happened, but someone from the high up from YouTube was also there too, because they just want to check out our community, our group, and what we share on this platform.
Uh-huh.
So it was amazing. I met so many people. I took pictures with so many people. And like I was telling you, I had literally had a little line behind me just waiting to hug me, to shake my hand, autograph, or to take pictures with me. They come up to me, and they're just saying, oh my gosh, Dee, I watch your channel, I watch your videos, I love your Mom Queen G&J. Your decluttering has helped me so much. Or your Tiny Tidy Tuesdays, or you give me hope as a new caregiver. So I got to listen to them and what their projects
Mhm.
at home are doing. Or it was just so nice. It was an experience that I will never forget. I was just blown away by how welcoming that everyone was to me, because I was the furthest one to have flown from the San Francisco Bay Area to Phoenix just to be there. So I had some subscribers who literally drove 2 hours out of their way
Wow.
just so that they can meet me, because they said, this is the only time that we're actually going to meet you, Dee. I've been watching you forever. And when I found out that you were on the plane actually coming to Phoenix, you know, they
You
literally
know what though,
made
Dee?
the drive.
I think about that from time to time in the things that I share about homemaking. It's like all of a sudden you realize that what you are doing makes a difference and that
Yes.
are really excited about what you have to share and that they actually wanted to meet you and thank you for what you do. So hooray for Dee.
I know.
Everybody give it up for Dee. Give it up for Dee. Let's throw some kudos in the chat to give it up for Dee. I am just so happy that you
I
had that experience. So yes.
it was great. It was unreal. It was a surreal moment. I just didn't realize until you actually meet them, and they tell you, like, I watched this video. Oh, weren't you just here in December? Oh, how was your trip and like
Mhm.
you're like, whoa. They
But the
actually
fact that
watched.
some people told you that your videos made a difference in their
Yes.
lives. So
Yes.
hooray for that.
Yes.
Well,
Thank
okay.
you.
So Jewel in the kitchen's going to check you out, and other people are talking about the empty boxes. Um, some people say they'd be a little bit frightened to be like at that YouTube conference and have to meet all those people. But I'm glad that you were able to do that and connect with those people. All right. So, any last words before we go?
I don't think so. This was a lot of fun, as always.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so
Well, you
glad
will have
I
to
got to
come back.
join.
Yeah, you have to come back. Check your calendar for June, and we'll see when you can come back and visit with us again. And then, just as an announcement, don't forget we've got new pieces to celebrate Father's Day and Flag Day in the Apron Deeper store. So be sure to check us out. And then our question of the day is, what's your aha moment? How are you going to maintain momentum with your decluttering? How are you going to maintain momentum with your decluttering? Leave us a comment if you're on the replay or in the chat. Leave us a chat comment there.
Give her a like or a subscribe if you have not done so already.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I always forget to say that. But thank you. And then I want to invite you to my last video, Reviving Sunday Dinner. Oh, Dee, I tell you what, my last video, Reviving Sunday Dinner, when I did it, I had a sponsor for that video, and it was a Newair ice maker.
Oh,
And
nice.
I feel like I don't do commercials. I'm not going to just do a video about a product, you know. It's got to make sense for my viewers. And one of the issues that I sometimes have, particularly when fishing season starts, is my husband takes all the ice. And so an ice maker is perfect for us, especially for Sunday dinner. You've got lots of company over. So that's how I wove this story in about the ice maker. But what I realized after the video was all done, when I was just doing my editing, I was just sitting here thinking, oh my God. So I called my husband. I said, honey, come here. And I made him watch. I said, what do you see? He said, I just see our family. I'm like, exactly. It was like, it just showed an ordinary day, which is so special. It wasn't Christmas, it wasn't Thanksgiving, but it was just those ordinary things that make life life. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm leaving a memory for my family that they can look back on and see the day that we did this. And that's what you're doing too with our videos. We are leaving a legacy. But it didn't connect with me until that moment. I'm like, I'm leaving a legacy. So I was
That's
really excited.
wonderful. That is so wonderful.
Yeah, so I invite everybody to check out my last video, Reviving Sunday Dinner, and look at my YouTube shorts if you haven't looked at them. There's no new ones yet because I've been working on my homemaking, my mentoring course. That one just finished up. So now I can get back to doing some of the other YouTube stuff. But what's your call to action? What do you need to share?
Well, tomorrow I will be posting the finale video of my decluttering for the garage sale series. So I'm finishing editing that up tonight. So I will be having that tomorrow posted on my channel. I will be showing some another embarrassing moment of my decluttering. I have never really shared the garage, but tomorrow is going to be a doozy. So if you're really at all curious about a really messy, cluttered garage, well, then tomorrow's your video.
Okay. I will well, I don't have the link yet, so I can't put the link in the description box, but tomorrow I'll try to remember to do that. But I do have the link for your garage sale
Yeah,
series.
it'll be all in there.
So if
It'll
you
be
put
a
it in
part of that.
there, then the link,
Yep,
it'll be captured in there. Well,
it'll
all
be
right
there.
then. So for more homemaking inspiration, click here. And I'll see you guys next time.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. So I'll see you in the green room. Let me get rid of them for a minute.